guys, welcome to this month's What We're Reading! Yes! I'm Sarah and I'm with the lovely Elizabeth like always, and this month's book is The Shadow Watch by S.A. Klopfenstein.
And so this book used to be on Wattpad, but it's now actually a published book, so both of us will include links in our videos below so that you can check that out. But here's a short synopsis to kind of show you guys what this book is about. For centuries, the Ocean Empire has ruled the New World with terror and blood. The Watchers have been eradicated and their sorcery is but a whispered myth. But the heart of magic beats on, and as it surges back to life, 3 young people will determine the fate of the world. Tori Burrowday is a strong-willed slave girl. Her magic could ignite a revolution, but only if she resists the ruler who wants to use her powers to restore the empire to its former glory. Darian Redvar, the idealistic soldier she loves. His rage leads him down a dark path to power that could turn him against the one person he cares for. Kaelan Dovier, a lordling rebel with a torturous past. His quest for a weapon of dark sorcery will thrust him into a twisted game of power that could change the world forever. Will the return of magic transform the new world or bring it to ruin?
Dun dun dun! And we still don't know, because there's I need to read book 2. As the blurb said, there is kind of, you follow 3 main people all the way through, but there's more than just those 3 people that influence the whole story, which was quite, all the characters in this were so, like, they had so many, like, parts to them. They were, like, none of them were white or black, they were all grey, and it was, like, I was just fascinated by the characters so much. Some of them I was so rooting for, and then you learned about them and you were like, no, why are you doing this to us?
Are you thinking of Kale or someone else?
Kale and Ren. The more I was like, when we first met them, they were like, okay, I like you two. You seem quite like nice compared to all the stuff she's dealt with. And then when they were in like, they were her welcoming feast, and then they were discussing how they were going to keep her in the dark, and like I was, and he had like, he thought someone else was her, and then abandoned her, and I was like, right, okay, Ren, I can't ship you with her anymore, I'm sorry.
I know, that kind of threw me off with Ren too, because it's like, wow, he's kind of being manipulative.
Oh gosh, yeah. It was definitely, I think for me, what completely, like, I was like, I can't be, like, ship you with her, is, he was, like, with Lashara, yeah. And then, like, as soon as he was like, oh, wait there's an even stronger girl, he completely, like, dumped her, even though they, like, planned to make her his queen, and she'd fallen in love with him and stuff. And I was like, what? Why would you do that to a girl? Like, what?
Did he dump her before he found out about Tori, though?
They never really say it per se, because that story kind of comes from Misha, and she has her own feelings for Lashara, so it's kind of like, maybe. I don't know. That was the first one. I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, I can't trust anybody apart from Tori at the moment, because everyone's turning bad.
Wasn't it ironic, the part, like, how in the beginning Tori's like, okay, you know, if I were drafted, I would just go along with it. I'd do what I had to do to survive. And then Darian's like, no, I would stand for what's right. But by the end of the book, it's, like, totally opposite, you know?
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, totally. Like, when they said Darian was alive, because obviously this whole thing happened because he was like, no, and he was going to get killed because of the gallows and then her power and everything. But when it turned around that he was like alive and he was like thriving in this like soldier camp, I was like, dude, what's happened? And the more I read into his story, the more I was like, I want to slap you, because more stuff's happening and I can't trust you anymore. Like, I feel like I can't trust you anymore.
I know, like, a little part of me died just as he, like, started changing into this, like, dark soldier guy.
It was the minute he accepted the Chancellor's thing to become, Morai. When he accepted that, I was like, you've gone. Oh my god. I don't know if I can be hopeful for you anymore.
But that's the weird thing, because wasn't Valeria or whatever, she was also transformed, right? But she was, like, pretty much a spy the whole time?
She has, they kind of explained at the end, she has that powers where you can like block off magic.
Okay.
I liked her as a character, but at the same time I was like, but you're his love interest. You're making this a weird triangle, though it's like not a triangle anymore because there's so much love going on. It's weird. So much politics.
So true. But I totally get what you're saying about the love. Do you want to call it like a love hexagon or something? Because, okay, first, I wanted her with Darian because it's like they care for each other so much.
Yeah, they were family.
And then it's like, okay, no, wait, maybe Rin. And then it's like, okay, Rin is manipulative and he's using her. You know what? Kale seems like a nice guy. And then Kale has a love.
It was like, he had, you could kind of see his feelings as well because he was like, I'm not jealous. But I was like, oh, but boys don't think they're...
I know! I totally thought there was something there. He's like, I feel this connection to her, but...
And then he started talking about Kira, and I was like, who the hell is Kira? But then when she did turn up, how he acted around Kira, and the fact that he would do anything for that girl, I was like, okay, I'll give you that. That's really cute. Okay, you're doing all this for your girl. That's fine. I can't trust Tori with anyone at the moment. There better be a good person in book 2, because she is, unless she just sticks with like Mariah or whatever her name is. Other than like love stuff, what did you think of Tori as a character all the way through? Like, she was very much she wasn't a Mary Sue, if that makes sense. Like, she was very much, she struggled, and I felt it was really realistic, and I like that about her character, because obviously she'd been thrust into this world with like super powers because she has more than one power. Like, as soon as they brought up all the different types of powers, I'm like, she's gonna have all of them. I can tell. She'll have all of them, because this will be a boring story otherwise. But I really like the idea that they didn't come to her easily, and she was really struggling with them, and I was like, I like that, because you could have made it really like, oh, instantly she's amazing at what she does kind of thing.
Yeah, I really appreciated that aspect of her, and I did find it really relatable, and like, you feel for her so much. Like, I mean, I get what she's saying about like in the beginning how she'd want to survive, but then she turns out to be stronger than she anticipated, and she stands against the Chancellor even though he does horrible things to her, and she's trapped in a dungeon for like a year and just drained of blood, and, you know, gradually has this slow death. But I love seeing both of that in her, like also her inner strength that she has to like do the right thing and save the people that she loves, but also her struggles that make her really relatable.
I really think she doesn't realize how much of a good person she is. Like, that came out to me when she was escaping, and she stole like 2 loaves of bread, and she handed one to the woman to feed her family, and I was like, very Aladdin moment, but you didn't have to do that. And it was one of those moments I was like, I like you, you're a good human being, well done. Nah, but I like that about her. I do think the characters, yeah, they were all very well developed, but I think she was a good one to be like all the way through, being our like follow through. Because, like, when it came to Kale and Darian, the more I read about them, the more I was a bit like, I want to go back to Tori. She's nice. Darian, you're just breaking my heart.
I know, it was so sad to watch him, like his character degrade like that. Hopefully in book 2, I mean, what Valeria or whatever says kind of gives me hope for him.
I think what really broke it for me, especially, was how he acted around old Marie, because like all 3 of them were in like the same general's house at the very beginning, and they were like, she was like this like mother figure that fed everyone, and they do state that in the soldier camp that he's in, she's there, and like no other soldier camp would have been fed as well if it wasn't for her, and I was like, oh, that's sweet. And then he's like really rude to her, and I was like, why would you do that? This is like your mother figure.
So what did you think of the plot?
It was very, very interwoven, and I like the fact it came from 3 different perspectives. Like, you went from like Tori to like Darian to Kale, and they were all at different parts of this world. This world is really, really well created. Like, you can understand what's going on. The politics are all there, and it was, so much stuff was happening, and I was really impressed how everything started to like intertwine towards the end, and I was like, obviously there were so many points I was like, you're related to you? What's happening here? And then it was like towards the end of Kale, like the end of Kale's section, when Darian and stuff popped up, I was like, what? Everything is interlinking.
What did you think?
I thought he had a lot of story threads going, and he handled it really well, like with all the different POVs and stuff. Like, I tend to have one main character, or maybe two if it's a romance, but generally they follow, like, just different sides of the same story thread. So I'm not sure I'd be able to pull that off like he did.
Oh,
God, no. I have one main character, and I maybe have, if I want to have more characters, they're all supporting with, like, mini story threads that, like, lead into the main one, but that's about it. I don't think I could have so many main ones going on at the same time. That was really impressive. Yeah. Oh, that was very clever as well.
Yeah, my mom wants to say hi to you, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi!
How are you?
I've seen you in videos. You're amazing. Yeah, your video with her. I was like, your mom is so cool.
Yeah, I like you even more.
Yeah, she loves your Scottish accent.
Yes, and
Oh, thank you.
16-year-old son taught himself through YouTube how to speak with a Scottish accent, and I'm trying to get him to work up the courage to talk to you so you can see what you think of his accent. But he's very good.
Yeah, I've kind of got a hybrid accent 'cause my dad's English as well, so I'm not completely Scottish. I've got quite a posh Scottish accent, I've been told, but like, I can go really Scottish.
Yeah. So anyway, he's a little shy sometimes, but we're working on it. So maybe sometime we can do a call. So
yeah, that'd be fun.
But nice to meet you.
It's you too.
I'm gonna go to the store.
Okay, good. Can you get protein cereal?
Yes.
Thanks. So that's my mom. But another thing I loved about the book was the writing style. Like, oh my goodness, especially the first paragraph where it was describing them building the gallows. Like, just the sensory details and stuff.
Literally, yeah, I get that. Like, reading it, I was like, this could be a professional book. Like, I read Sarah J. Maas's book right after it, and I would literally say that this writing style is so much better than that, and she's published. I mean, obviously she's gotten better in the series, I've been told, but like, it was one of those, I read her first book after this, and I was like, this guy's writing is so good, like, almost like up there with a professional writer. Like, this is like the aim for me one day, to be as good a writer kind of thing. It was just one of those, like, you really, from the beginning, you were immersed in the story, you knew what was happening, and you were kind of just like, oh, wow. And then the more I learned about the world building as well, and I was like, this guy's writing is just amazing.
I know, that's the thing. So I had an interesting discussion on this Facebook forum about Wattpad, and one person called Wattpad like a cesspool of fanfiction or something. But I know some people see it like that, but there are really a lot of phenomenal books on there if you look. Like, books that could honestly, if you picked them off a bookshelf and you started reading it without knowing about sales record or anything, you could probably assume it's a bestseller or something.
That's my main thing when it came to promote Wattpad, and the reason why I started doing What Talks was because I'm like, yeah, there's a load of like weird One Direction fan fiction on there, but if you do bother to like look in, you find some really phenomenal books, and they just need people to like talk about them and get people like actually discussing them. I want everyone to try and read it, which I'm like, part of me is even considering buying it because I'm like, I want the physical copy. I want to support this guy's writing because he's so good.
Have you heard of Kindle Unlimited?
Yeah.
So what Kindle Unlimited does, you know, you have like a $10 a month subscription, and then you trade 10 books out in your Kindle library. I have a Kindle Unlimited membership, so I'll probably just do that. And what it does is, like, the further you read in, the more money the author makes. I honestly don't really have any critiques for this book other than, like, I want someone to definitively ship her with. I think it's Rin, but I will need to see more development of that later.
I don't know if it's a critique, but maybe just an extra is maybe go into a bit more about the god system and like all that kind of thing, because there was a lot of, I was at the beginning, I was trying to write down stuff to be like, okay, what's going on, so I can try and get in the world, like the people's heads about the gods, the old world, the new world, even if it's just simple, this happened because of this, like a timeline. I needed that for Narnia, so I need it for this as well. So guys, that was our kind of wrap up for this discussion, which we've got a cat joined us as well. It's quite a fascinating thing. Oh gosh, it's so fluffy. I'm really easily distracted by animals. So yeah, that was our wrap up. As you can tell, me and Elizabeth really quite like this book, and we are off to read book 2 because answers. So we have decided that next month's book of the month, I'm going to call it for now, is Cupid's Match, which is a CWC show, but we're reading the book first. In a world where everyone has the perfect match, what if you were matched with the dangerous, notoriously good-looking, original bad boy, Cupid himself? Dear Leah, is it Leah? Leela? I'm saying Leah. I'm contacting you on the behalf of Cupid's matching service. You will not have heard of us, but we are an organisation that works behind the scenes of society, identifying each person's perfect match. Usually we would not contact our clients. We prefer to work in secrecy, setting up the ideal environment for the two matches to have chance encounter. Recently, however, we have ran your details through our system, and well, in your case, we think you'd better come in. Please respond at your earliest convenience. Yours urgently, the Cupid's matching service. Dun dun dun. So we're following that story, and I need a good love story where we definitely know what's happening, because so anyway, we really hope you enjoyed this, what we're reading this month, and we will have a bonus video on Elizabeth's channel, which is quite an exciting bonus video because I put some effort into this. We're going to be playing Rip It or Ship It using characters from this book. That'll be on Elizabeth's channel, the link will be below, and as Elizabeth Cat is saying, goodbye.
Bye!
Bye bye, cat.